Okay, this one, this might be kind of crazy.
Didn't think of this the first time I read it.
I'm going to throw it out there. No, I'm literally obsessed.
Hey, besties! Welcome to Literally Obsessed. It's Cassy.
And Brittany.
How are y'all doing today? Woo! Sorry if we're feeling theatrical.
Yeah.
We just got back right now, actually.
Yeah.
From the Guts World Tour. Shout out Olivia, our favorite.
Thank you for hosting us, Olivia
for taking
Rodrigo.
us to the forum. For the people who are watching, check out our cool t-shirts. Olivia Rodrigo, we love you. Just if you're listening to this.
Yeah.
We have a couple book recommendations for you if you want to. Did you ever hear that song that she made about like...
Oh, yes.
And people were like
that
talking
she
about
would
like
release
book.
it.
I know, me too.
I'm a feminist, obviously.
Yep. She should have released it.
Yeah.
Book Talk loved it.
Yeah.
And I do too. But yeah, we had like a really fun night last night, and that's something that we're very obsessed with is Miss Olivia. So
and she is obsessed with your ex.
So
just so you know.
Just so you guys know. So we're in a nice chipper mood because of it. That was so much fun. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Today is episode 14 of Iron Flame. Yes. That is crazy. We are in the thick of it. I think we only have a couple more.
I know, I'm sad.
4?
When I lose track, honestly.
Something like that.
But when I was reading it, it said I was 77% into the book. And I was like,
that's a lot of percent.
That's sad.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going over chapters 49 through 52 today.
Yes.
I know, I'm kind of missing our old little two chapter parters, but...
Yeah, I forgot we were back into 4 chapters today.
Yeah.
And I was like... Well, it's been a busy week for both of us, so
it will continue to be more.
And it will continue to be. So we were doing this outline very last minute, and I was like, "Oh, damn it, we're back to 4 episodes. Oh my god, 4 chapters." I told you I'm not feeling. I think I'm dehydrated today, guys. I'm not feeling.
She's like, why do I feel this?
Not feeling the best right now, but we're power through.
She's got this. So a couple things, reminders. Remember, guys, we have our Patreon. So go ahead and check that out if you would like. You guys can be our book bestie or just join the book club. We have some cool bonus content that is going to be eventually posted on there at some point. So we're still working on it, but if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. Also, this is your reminder to subscribe to our newsletter.
It's free.
It's so free and it's so fun, and you guys can just keep up to date with us. We will post them every single, like the first of the month. So something cool, you just subscribe to it using an email. Description will have all of that information, so check that out, y'all.
Per usual, we've got our content warning, so nothing... The amount of times recently we're like, nothing spicy happens. But you guys know us. So, yeah, we keep it R-rated on this podcast. And spoiler warning, we are going to be diving into theories and things that happen at the end of this book and theories online. So if you don't like spoilers and haven't finished the book, then... come back to us when you're all done and ready for spoilers and theories.
Yeah. All right. Should we just start it?
Let's spill the tea. Take us away.
All right. Chapter 49. According to the epigraph as well, it said that the flyers and the riders are now held equal in every way except wing structure. Now, according to the Eurasia Accord, Rhiannon hands out patches to everyone in the squad that is involving the New Drift, aka Kat's group. Violet and her go to Kat and hand over the patch, welcoming her to the second squad. Kat is being her usual self, and Violet snaps back at her and thanks her for teaching Xaden a helpful little trick. Get him, Violet. Violet needs to head to the library, but the squad insists they will also join. What a supportive group, truly ride or dies. Violet asked Dain to meet them and to learn more about the Crovelish language. Come to shock that Dain agrees with no further information. Nice job, Dain. They study Warwick's journal, figuring out if they have been translating correctly or if this is a result of why they can't figure out the runes. Dain explains to Violet how he was so scared when she came to Basgiath, and that's why he was so overprotective her, blah blah blah. He apologized for what happened to Liam, but once Violet started to not take the apology, she felt him imbuing the wardstone, and Dain tells her that it might take a few weeks or a month to fully imbue. Before they leave, Dain asks if she is in love with Xaden, and she says, of course, yes. Dain then tells Violet that he will trust him as much as she does. Going into chapter 50, we also have another interesting epigraph that says, mastery of one signet does not occur at Basgiath, nor in the years directly after. No writer alive truly believes they've reached their limitations of their power. The dead ones may feel differently. I'm just putting out that. Felix is helping Violet control her energy and strike more accurately. He gives her the challenge to strike the conduit and reminds her that it's all about the energy fields, to which she is the greatest energy field of all. She was able to have more control this time and realize just how cool and less fearful she is about her power. Felix excuses her, and she feels Xaden come home and asks why he's home so early. He gives a short answer, and she knows that Shadow Boy is not happy. Violet goes into the kitchen and finds out that Pavis was overtaken and totaled 7 deaths in a horde of wyvern. Who is next? Brittany, tell us in 51.
All right, chapter 51. Violet wanders up to find Xaden sitting on the roof, and she joins him with his favorite chocolate cake. Xaden shares his worry that they are outnumbered and not ready if the venin decide to attack. We learn that Xaden was literally a second away from death, and Mira saw and ordered him off the battlefield for Violet's sake. Xaden sympathizes with Violet and how she feels like she is just a vulnerable extension of him, and they agree that they're tethered for life. Violet is alone in the library a little bit later on and realizes that they've been translating the journal wrong. The sentence actually says the breath of life and setting the stone ablaze in an iron flame. She also realizes that this isn't referring to riders, but dragons. Violet rushes to Rhiannon's room to tell her that she knows how to raise the wards, but she's not sure they should. Chapter 52. Regan, Rhee's sister, has opened up her house for the squad to use, and Violet has gathered everyone for a meeting. After almost exposing who Arik actually is, Violet lets everyone know that she has been translating the journal and thinks she knows how to do it. If they raise the wards, then the flyers wouldn't be able to wield. Violet tells the flyers that they'll have the time to make their decision, and if they stay, they won't be totally powerless because they have an explosive ore that she's been imbuing. Morzite? I think I'm saying that correct.
I think so.
Violet is having another nightmare where she's suspended over a sunburnt field. Y'all know the drill by now. The sage tells Violet that she'll eventually tear down the wards. And her and Xaden will do it for love. It's 6 days later, and even though we're in December, it is hot in Eratia. The squad gets a mission to find 30 summoning runes hidden along the western range, and the winner gets a weekend pass of no training, no homework, and no limits. This would definitely get me going if I was in school. Xaden and Violet reunite, and Xaden finds out that Violet has learned how to raise the wards. Violet ignores Xaden's attempt to raise the wards immediately and instead flies out on her mission with her squad. The end.
The end. That is it. That's it.
That's it for the whole book. All right. Should we just dive
Let's
into
deep it
our
and
deep
dive
dive?
in it?
Yeah. Let's deep it and dive
in
it, shall we? All right. So going all the way back to chapter 49. I am pretty sure that both Kat and Violet would fail the Bechdel test. Do you know what that is?
Isn't that the test in like movies where if you see how long it will take for them to like
not bring up a man? Yeah. So it's basically like it was invented by a cartoonist, and I don't know her first name, but her last name is Bechdel. And it was that whenever there's in books, like TV shows, movies, whenever there's a conversation between two female characters, like, if you pass it, it's that you had a conversation without talking about a man. But basically the test is, can you have a conversation without bringing up a man? And I think it's technically like every, let's say like 20 words or something.
It's something like that, yeah.
But like a great example is like Violet is talking about the patches, right? Xaden is not even in the area, and they're giving over the patches, and she's like, yeah, these are patches that we wear on our uniforms. And then she literally says, and I quote, "None of which are worn on flight leathers, which is probably why you never saw Xaden wearing them. He generally abhors patches. There, that wasn't so bad. I can be civil." Why did you have to bring Xaden up, girl?
I don't know.
And then it's like, I mean, Kat too then is just like, yeah, I know him. I've known him for years or something. And I think I've heard that somebody did the however many words it is, and Kat actually did pass it, but Violet didn't.
Of course she didn't.
And of course she didn't. She has to bring up her man
she
every...
has to.
Every 15
and you know what's
words.
annoying is, like, I'll give her a grain of salt. I know she's trying to defend her love for him or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, Kat hasn't been very awesome about dealing with their relationship too. But I also feel like she's just trying to, like, overstep her at first so she can get, like, on top of, like, their arguments. But I'm like, it's probably just making it worse.
No, you're
just adding to a argument.
Literally didn't have to say anything. Just like, hey, these are the patches that we wear on our uniform. You can put them wherever you want or something. But then it's like, she has to be like, we don't put it on our flight leathers, which is probably why you've never seen Xaden wear it. If
because
I was Kat, I'd be like, okay.
Because one of the flyers, right, was like, what are patches? Or like, what is this?
I think
they don't really know what it is. And then all you could have just said is like, oh, at Basgaia, this is what we wore to show, like, our ranking.
Yeah. That's it, girl.
You don't have to bring up Xaden all the time. And honestly, frankly, you hate when Kat brings him up.
Yeah, and
so I
don't know what she thought was going to happen, because then obviously Kat is going to respond with anger.
Right.
And be like, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I got it. It's like, she's mad regardless because it's Kat, but she probably wouldn't have responded back with so much, like, aggression if she didn't do that.
And what was funny, which I think leads into your little comment, is when Violet is, like, experiencing, like, that anger, she's like, she affirms herself, and I won't say it just yet because I know it was, like, on your quotes, but she affirms herself, being just like, no, like, I have the power, and, like, I love these awesome daggers they mean just so much more to me, like, as she's already prompted Kat to piss her off,
right?
And then she follows with a comment that you can comment on. I know that's your next one.
Oh, yeah. Well, pop off, Violet. I'll give it to you with that finger comment.
Yes.
Because that shut Kat up real quick, but you were also the one that kind of started.
You antagonized it.
You started the fight here. But the finger comment is that we all know that Kat had said something about, like, I taught Xaden that little trick with his fingers. And as she's coming up to give her the patch, she's like, oh, or no, she walks away because Kat is being rude. And she's like, oh, you know what? By the way, Kat, and says it very loud so that everybody can hear, like, that finger trick. Thank you for that.
That's so crazy.
Like, it is good. It's good, Violet. I'll give it to you. But,
and then I love how Riddick's like, man, like, I love you.
I fucking love you.
Like, I love you, and, like, puts her hand over his shoulder. It's like, it's so good. Also, I don't know if I would love to know that about my friends.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's
maybe Riddick wants to.
He's fantasized
I'm
about
just
it.
Saying.
Riddick would want to know everyone's sex life. He would be one of those that's like, so tell me, girl. Tell me when to stop. Yeah. Or he'd be like, give me every detail.
No.
Tell me.
100%.
How did it start? Where did it end?
Yeah, exactly.
From start to finish.
Exactly.
And I love him. But can you imagine? You say that in front of everybody and all your friends?
Poor
little
get
Sawyer.
It. He's like
what?
No, I do.
He's not innocent.
You forgot that Sawyer and Rhiannon.
I know. But out of the four of them, he's down in rank for that.
No, but I think in this moment I would allow it because it's like, okay, this person's been like a bitch to my friend, and everybody heard the comment that she made.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, yeah, you know what? Get her back then.
I'm gonna embarrass her.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanna get it back. Yeah.
But I agree. Sometimes it's just like, I don't need to know that much about you. You know? I think it's fine when you don't know the other person.
Yeah.
But considering I wouldn't say they're all friends with Xaden, but they know Xaden. It's like, this is too close.
But I'm sure Riddick's like, damn, what is it?
No, I'm sure he doesn't care. He's like, what kind of finger trick, and can I learn?
Can you teach me?
Can you teach it to me?
Can you ask Xaden to teach it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little moment that I loved. So after the whole thing with Kat, Violet's like, anyways, like, I gotta go to the library. And then Sawyer's like, the library? Then, like, me too.
It's like, I'll be there.
He's like, I'll be there. Can I come? Can I go? He has such a big crush on
I know. And then I love when they're like, so why are we here? We know why he's here.
Yes, that was it.
But, did I just take it?
No, you're fine. That's totally fine. No, it was just so funny when yeah. They're just like, he asked like, why are they at the library? And Sawyer's like, and then about Sawyer, he's like, well, I know, we all know why he's here.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
sweet little Sawyer.
Sweetie. He deserves the world. Another point I have is Riddick. They were talking about how Kat amplifies emotions and how crazy that is. And then I think most of them are like, are you not like afraid that like she's gonna like do something or blah 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 blah? And Riddick says some blah blah blah, or make you instantly horny for some random flyer, and then you're not the only one in the bed when Xaden like rotates back. And I was just like, damn, like he went like a play-by-play like what if situation scenario.
I did love how Sawyer was just like, what if she like makes me hate you? He's like so concerned about his friends, and then Riddick is just like, we're like, what if she makes you hook up with somebody else, you know?
He's so unserious. I love him.
I know. Going on about how much we love this little gang, I love how they are so supportive, and they are literally willing to cover up a murder for Violet. They're like, do you want us to kill Kat? We can hide the body.
It's like, it could be
Just
done
tell us
within the hour.
And then she says that for a second. They're like, haha. And they all fall silent. And she's like, because they're actually considering it.
No, literally.
They're like, no. No, we shouldn't.
They're like, it's the way she explains it too, I think.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
No,
you wrote
you're
that
fine.
down also.
It was the she was like, yeah, and then we all fell silent, not because we didn't have anything to say or like something like that. She's like, because we were genuinely pondering it for a second. It's like, wow, good to know. I would love to have a ride or die like that.
No, they're truly the best of friends.
They planned out the death.
Yeah,
they
were
like,
like,
we can get it out in an hour.
Do it here. Yeah. Yeah, they were like, we have an hour until battle brief. Plenty of time.
Good to know. Oh, okay. That was just for you to see.
The Riddick one?
No, the one underneath.
Wait, what do you...
When she says, like, I'm just finding my center.
Wait, what do you mean? I feel like I'm just missing out.
No, it's an inside joke.
But what am I...
Finding your center.
Oh. I was like, did we talk about yoga? Yes.
Which we will talk about yoga at some point today, because I have something to say about it. But
okay.
Other than that,
yes. Sorry,
thought that it was a little
that
silly,
is a
funny
little inside joke. That's an inside joke that I forgot for a second.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I don't remember writing this, but Sawyer's moment with Cindy reminds me that there could be good in this world. They were just so sweet. He was just like, they were like, it kind of felt like the Scott was like, go ahead.
Yeah,
it's okay.
yeah.
Like, go.
And then they're like, oh, he's coming back already.
He's like, oh, he only said 4 things. And Violet's like, he only knows 4 and he's doing good.
Yeah.
Like, he's learning.
Aww.
What did he ask her? He was like, how's your day? Or something like that.
Or I think he knew how to say like, good morning. I don't know what else he knew how to say.
So
I
cute.
know. I'm so sad that he loses a leg. Stop. Okay.
Stop. Let's not. I can't bring that up yet.
Okay.
Because
Sorry.
Poor little guy.
No, I know. We'll get there when we get there.
That's soon.
I know. So, not to be a Dain apologist for a second, but I have to say I do feel like he had good intentions and like he did just want to protect his friend. So, because I'm just imagining he is a little bit older than her. I'm imagining that he didn't have a crush on her growing up. And I don't know if it was the seeing her again that made him like, oh, she's grown up. Or like, I don't know at what time he developed a crush for her. But I'm imagining this is your best friend that you really care about. Mm-hmm. And then seeing them in this really dangerous situation, you know, I'm just saying I sympathize. I understand why he did why he did things the way he did. I don't think it's the right way to go about things, you know, but hearing him explain everything, like, hey, him apologizing, you know, and saying like, I saw you there, I was freaked out, you're supposed to be in the scribe quadrant. And then what else did he say? Oh, he was saying like, you know, I was living by the codex for a year, like that kind of messes you up because they're building you to be a machine. So it's like he's just trying to, you know, he's just trying to pass and not die. I don't know, it just made me feel a little bad for him. And also just Violet doesn't like confrontation, and that's on her. She doesn't like it with anybody, very clearly. But he's like, hey, can we talk about what happened? And she's just like, so anyway, do you know how to imbue a ward stone? And he's like, right, but Violet. And she's like, if you know how to do it, like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, just let him talk.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then it's like her not really listening to him, but him being like, I'm so sorry. Like, and taking ownership for like what he did.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I don't know. I feel like you can't fully blame him because it's like, he apologizes. Like, I'd listened to what my dad said over trusting you, and I'm sorry. And it's like, okay, fair. If your parent is telling you something, you're probably going to trust your mom or dad, you know?
And his dad was a, like, colonel.
Yeah.
He wasn't just a dad.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not going to say that he didn't get his job without nepotism. He did.
But nepotism rules this world, apparently. It's in all worlds.
All worlds, yeah. But anyway, I'm not saying he's totally right, but just, like, for a second.
No, yeah.
I want to give him his little moment.
I agree. I also wanted to touch on that because I think Rebecca posted the other day.
Yes.
And she was like, I'm the number one, like, Dain apologist. Like, I support him. Like, she said, like, guys, he's 21. Like, and
yeah,
all he was so young and so formative that, like, of course he was going to take the words of, like, his dad and, like, the leadership more lightly than Violet.
Right.
But I think it's true. It's like, imagine seeing, like, your best friend in a dangerous position and they're themselves not aware of how dangerous this could be, and hearing, like, them be like, no, I'm fine, I got it, like, I'm sure would add to more protectiveness. And, like, then seeing her with, like, Xaden, I'm sure was just you know, a whirlwind of its own. So I agree. I think Dain has a really great character arc, and he progresses all the way through it. So I am more neutral with him. He just was fighting nasty at some part.
No, for sure.
But I think now I can appreciate him. But what I didn't like, and I didn't write it in here, was how, like, pushover-y Violet was about it. Like, she just didn't care about his apology.
Yes. Yeah, she didn't really seem to care.
And when he was like, I'm so sorry, Violet, and she's like, well, it's not all right.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
He's not asking for you to, like, to be okay. He's just saying, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And all she was just like, you know what? Like, nothing will ever bring back, like, Liam, blah, blah, blah. Like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah.
She's also really immature, so I'm sure
she is.
She doesn't know how to, like, you can forget. You don't have to forgive, but you don't have to forget. Like, you just need to just say thanks for your apology. Exactly.
Yeah. I wonder if she was always this stubborn, or if this is just personality traits that she's gotten over the past year or so.
Maybe.
Because I feel like that's why he was also very shocked by her behavior. Like, maybe she was like this quiet, meek little, you know, pushover girl, and now she's like trying to be strong and stand up for herself, but maybe not in the right way all the time.
I love a childhood best friend trope, personally. I think that I like how they always flow out of, like, oh, she liked him for so long, and then once she finally changed and it becomes her own, like, then they start to be like, oh, what have I been missing out for this whole time? But it's too late. I love that trope for some reason. But I also kind of hate it at the same time. But this is, like, a perfect structure of that, I think. And I think that that's also really hard to sympathize sometimes with Dain, because you're like, well, like, I'm sure she had qualities of this when she was young, but you were much older and didn't see that of her. So I get it. It must be difficult, but
no, for sure. He's not the worst. That's
not
all
the worst.
I'll say. So when Violet is having her little lesson with Felix, and he's just being so sweet to her and so helpful, it just had me thinking the entire time, like, where has Felix been all this time?
I don't know.
Where was he throughout Fourth Wing? We could have used him.
I don't remember him.
He's not in Fourth Wing. He's not in it, right? Well, I mean, he's in the very, very end.
Yeah.
He's been in Erasure,
but I think that his character is much like Devera. You know, I think that they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
In their kindness, I would say. So it's like, oh, good to know that there was good people.
It's just like, gosh, you would have been really helpful like a month ago.
Like 3
or,
chapters back.
Like,
yeah. He was really... I liked the way he was explaining things, though. He was, like, talking her through it and letting her also figure it out, rather than just, like, saying things.
He's a, is it kinetic. No, what is it called when you're like you have
Hands-on?
to do it? A hands-on learner.
Oh, yeah, kinetic?
Like kinetic sand? I think it's kinetic. I'm thinking I'm wrong also.
I do, we do, you do.
Okay.
Model.
Yes. Felix he's taken a few leadership classes in his day.
Leadership classes. I love it.
Kinesthetic? Got it.
Kinesthetic. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I knew it was like a S in there.
I was like, it can't be kinetic sand.
I just saw the word.
Yeah.
I put this in my little quotes, but I just want to bring it up. Taryn's little saying about life, it really had me thinking, like, really intellectually. So I'll just bring it up now.
Okay, I was like, what is it?
It's him saying, like, I choose you and dragons make no mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, what's it like to go through life so self-assured? And he goes, it's life.
Dang.
And I was like, damn. You're right. Like, it is just life.
Yeah.
He's like, maybe you should just try living. It's like, shit, we should all probably listen to Taryn. It's a living year. We're living.
It's a Taryn fall.
But yeah, like, to add on to that is, like, Felix I liked the way he was, like, kind of hyping her up. He was like, you're the greatest, like, energy field, which is like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, damn, her?
Yeah.
What do you know?
What do you know, Felix?
Do you know?
I know.
What do you know? My little last point for this one. Do we think channeling power is like meditating? Because, and I'll back up why I say this.
Okay.
She, of course, when he's like, all right, like, focus on your power. And she's always like, I feel like I'm pulling a thread away from my power. And I see this beautiful line of energy. And then she goes, and I go deeper into my archives. You know, it's like when you do a guided meditation, they like say, like, just like shut your brain off and then just think like back to back of your of your brain. And it's like the way that they talk about it, it was when they were explaining in the chapter, I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like just a really intense meditation.
I could see that. I guess I didn't think of it that way. I know that I visualize something when she talks about being in her head and like the archives and whatnot. I visualize something for it, but I mean, yeah, I guess it is kind of, you're focusing on something. So.
Yeah. I would assume it's kind of like you're finding, like, in your inner, because she always says, she's like,
finding your center,
and so she's finding that, like, deep part of her brain that, like, can tug the bond when she needs to talk to him. Or one thing that I've learned in, like, in fantasy books is whenever they say putting their shields up, I don't know why my brain literally goes
yeah
I'm like seeing them just go like cutting off,
or like a brick wall, like,
yes, literally. And so I'm thinking, like, oh man, you would have to, like, in order to be powerful just in general with a signet and a bond, like, you have to be in your head the entire time.
No, it is very, like, I admire it because I don't know how I would handle that.
Yeah.
Like, you have, especially her, she has so many voices in her head.
Yes.
At all times. It's like, how do you just completely shut your mind off but still do what you're doing?
Yeah, it's weird.
And, like, her and Xaden being able to have conversations in real life but also talk in their mind, it's a lot.
Really weird. It's like, maybe this is what you remember the movie Lucy, where it was like the girl who used 100% of her brain.
Oh,
because if you guys didn't know this, I don't know it's fully true scientifically, but they say in the movie, and I guess it was stemmed from a fact, that we humans only use 10% of our brain's power. And no one knows what would happen if we used 100% of it.
Right.
Maybe these guys are just using 50.
No, it's very true. Isn't that crazy?
Can we talk about that? Because I genuinely don't know how that works.
Wait, sorry if this is stupid of me. Was that based on a true story?
No.
It can't be, right?
It can't be. But I do believe that it is from a scientific fact about our brain.
Yeah, no, I do know that we only use a small percentage of our brain. I don't know if it's 10%, but it is a small percentage.
I looked it up. How much percent? Yes, it's 10%.
Oh, wow.
'Cause then, it's a myth.
Oh.
But
yeah, that was so stupid, guys, if you believe that.
God,
that's
did you?
Embarrassing.
So dumb.
That was so dumb.
No, honestly, I don't think it's a myth. How do we know? We don't know everything. They say scientists believe that we use our entire brain every day. Well, I'm like, all our brain is constantly in use and consumes tremendous amount of energy. Despite making up only 2% of our body weight, it devours 20% of our calories. Your brain? That's crazy.
Whoa, I'm working out and I didn't even realize.
Even when we sleep, our entire brain stays like
Right.
active. I didn't get that true.
Well, right. Otherwise, I think you would die.
Right.
I guess.
You know what? Okay, maybe it says that the theory came from a book called Energies of Men, and it says that we are making use of only a small part of our possible mental and physical resources. This influential work was likely sparked the idea that humans assess a mere fraction of their brain, setting this a common misconception ablaze. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. What if we can use other things, you know?
I mean, and I don't know too much about brains, science, math. I'm not a STEM girl. I'm an arts girl. So maybe this is just me being stupid. But then I feel like, how are there people like Einstein?
Right?
Like, then why are we not
geniuses.
all as smart as people like that, you know? And, like, why are some people just dumb?
I get it.
But you know what I mean?
I would love to be an Einstein. I would love to use more of my brain power.
Yeah. Like, how... I don't know. I know that they say you have to work out your brain and it's like a muscle and whatnot, but I don't know.
I don't know. I love going down a rabbit hole about this kind of stuff, but I would assume that these people are using more of their brain because I couldn't do it.
Right.
I couldn't do it this way of just being like, hi, yeah, and there's like two dragons, a dude in your head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just think it would be a lot to focus on. So, props to her.
That's why I'm thinking, like, that's why channeling and, like, focusing on your energy with your signets, like meditating. Maybe the closest thing we could do to be in this world, Brittany, is by meditating.
Okay, noted. I don't meditate much, but maybe I should start.
Maybe this was just coming from me doing it a lot recently, so I'm just like, I'm pulling a thread from my brain, and I'm realizing the energy sparking from it.
I mean, cool things can come from meditating.
It's true.
Have you ever had, like, an out-of-body experience while meditating?
Not enough, I don't think. That's my goal.
Have.
Really?
Yeah, I remember it, like, distinctly. It was, like, one of my first times meditating.
Really?
In my acting class.
We used to do so much meditation and acting, like, in my musical theater class.
Yeah.
Literally, like, every Friday, I remember they would be like, all right, everybody, let's lay down. They turn the lights off, and they'd have, like, the guided meditation on a YouTube video. And it'd be like, breathe in and out. I think I could do pretty good.
I think
I could do it.
No, I remember my theater teacher had us, like, all laying on the floor. I don't know what this is called. If he called it, like, colors or, like, I don't know what he called it. But it was just, like, things where he would be like, okay, like, now you're seeing all red or you're seeing blue. And then I remember he would do things like, all right, we're going to start, like, breathing, which is pretty common in, like, meditation. But, like, you're breathing from, like, your toes. Feel your toes. And then, like, breathe, like, all the way up your body. Or whatever. And I remember feeling like I was, like, rocking. Like, I didn't feel like I was laying down. I felt like I was, like, on a boat. And I, like, woke up, or I didn't wake up, but I, like, opened my eyes. I was like, whoa.
Whoa, that's
like,
weird.
I literally felt like I was, like, moving. And then he was just, like, very cool. So you had, like, an out-of-body experience. I was like, I don't know.
Crazy.
This is my first time.
Wait, we should do that.
So, yeah, I feel like I've
it.
wanted to, like, because I don't know. I've only ever been able to do it that one time. And I don't know what that means. Maybe I should look it up. But yeah.
We need to start doing
Maybe I
more.
was, like, able. I feel like my teacher had said something like, oh, like, you were able to, like, disconnect or, like, I don't know. I gotta look it up.
Oh my God, I want to do that.
Over 10 years ago.
Seems like so much fun. It's just hard to turn your brain off.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
no,
fully.
For sure. That's why I always feel like meditation isn't really successful for me because I just have too much going on.
Yeah.
I can never just, like, fully shut off my brain.
It's truly, though, when you focus on your breathing.
Yeah.
That'll help it. So.
I really should start meditating. I think it would be very beneficial for me in life.
Hey, Headspace, if you guys want to sponsor us.
Yeah.
Please. I would love to. I would love it. I would love it. And if you guys aren't, go ahead, check it out. It's good. It's a great resource.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to our reality. Okay. Chapter 51.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just start here. I think it's so cute that Xaden has a lovely little sweet treat that he feels, you know, so connected to.
Right.
And I love that that's his little comfort. And it's this whole little part made me kind of cry. It's just so sweet of her being like, well, I was going to give this to you anyways, and then I found out that you were having a shitty day. Mm-hmm. Or like like added to it, and then he's just like, thank you. I'm like, not used to having people like take care of me. And she's like, get used to it. I just think it's so sweet that like he has like a little comfort food.
Right. No, I agree. And this chocolate cake must be pretty damn good.
Okay. Guys, we're gonna be like, I'm sorry, this is our apology video. I think we wanted to have chocolate cake in this episode.
Yeah.
Just totally slipped by my head. And that's like on us.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to see us do a fun episode of us making a chocolate cake, let us know. Because I think that's something that we want to do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to ruin your cute moment for a second. Because it's not me, actually. It's Xaden being a boy, a stupid boy. So there's the line in Violet says, like, it's already snowing up the pass. I bet we get 7 inches by tonight. She opened the door for this one, let me just say. And then Xaden says, maybe more if you're good. Xaden! That's crazy!
It's not... Okay, because in my head, I would have thought that he would have been like, maybe more if you were lucky. He didn't say... He said, if you're good. He has a validation kink. He has a validation kink. He's like, yeah, you gotta be good. God.
Yeah, that's
so
crazy,
it's
Xaden.
more than 7 inches.
Okay.
What did we come to terms with? 9?
I don't... Guys.
Tell 'em.
Cassie... Well, I was just gonna
They've seen it. They've seen me talk about this before. But please.
No, just Cassie has some unrealistic expectations.
He's not real.
No, he is.
I'm allowed
He's a human, though. He's not like a fucking mythical creature.
Avatar.
Yeah. And also, I just think that Cassie forgets at a certain point it would just not be fun. It wouldn't. It would be painful.
Like
she's like 13. Do we think 13 inches? I'm like, no, I genuinely don't, actually.
Okay.
I don't think you really know how big 13 inches is.
Oh, well, we pulled
I
it up
know.
of a
Unfortunately,
measuring
we
tape.
had to pull out a measuring tape.
We've done this
her.
multiple times. We've done this like twice. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgot that could be painful. Whatever. But I still stand by the fact that it's probably more than like 8.5.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you because
I can't say what I want. No, I'm going to have to wait till this is off to tell you what I was thinking.
Oh, no. Can you write it down so you don't forget it?
Let me just...
Can I just see it?
Yeah. I don't even...
I'm scared. Wait. Okay, bitch, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're... but you're telling me, like, 8 isn't, like, too crazy.
You're the one saying that, like, 13 isn't too crazy. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying...
You need to remember Violet's a small girl.
I know. She could have a wide set vagina.
I don't know, but I think you have to tell them what you told me.
Okay, y'all. I'm just saying, like, do we think it went all the way in? Like, do you think
I do
to the wall? Like, if that is the case, then that will make me think less.
I do, because she was on top.
Still have a pocket. Wait. Oh.
Well,
okay.
No. I need you to think about how aggressive some of those scenes were.
No, and I know it's like a one-way ticket to Pound Town,
yeah.
and I know that, and I hear that,
Uh-huh.
but I'm thinking like the impeccable length of him, as she explains, would have to be meaning 8.5.
No, Cassy.
Should we get another tape measure?
No, I don't. Well,
can I see 8.5?
Fucking might have to for you.
Can I see 8.5, please?
I don't need.
Production manager.
It's gonna take a minute for me to get a tape measure.
Okay.
I just think you need to be realistic about.
This is 11, right?
Yeah, if that's an 11-inch MacBook, yes.
1, 2. So that's 10.
No,
No,
that's 9.
this is 9.
Yeah.
Okay, this is 9.
Please look at how big that is. Be realistic, girl.
Okay, if 8.5.
Oh my god.
Okay, 8.5. Go ahead.
I'm just needing you to be realistic.
I'm being realistic about
Okay.
this fictional man. I just think that his thing hang low to the bottom to the flow.
Okay.
Shines in the light.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I'm not going to argue with you about it anymore. I just think you have to be for real.
Okay, I'm being for real. 8.5.
Okay, fine.
Like full erect.
Okay. I hope it's not erect.
That's crazy. Now that's crazy. I'm
well,
crazy, but I'm not that crazy. I think the only way to figure that out is if Rebecca tells us. So the first 3 words of Onyx Storm better be, it's 8.5 inches. And then we'll settle this debate once and for all. Okay.
All right. Well, Rebecca, you know what you have to do.
You heard what I said.
Well, anyway.
Anyways.
Let's move on from that. Sweet moment of Xaden getting to experience how Violet feels by just being like an extension of him, and being like, now I see how you have felt this entire time when people are holding me back from doing things that I want because they're worried about you, or they're like worried about you dying or something. I just thought it was a sweet moment, and it was like a reminder, like, we are tethered for life.
Okay, I hate to say this, but this is all in here, not even on here. But something that I found interesting was how much it did bother Xaden. You know, like how much getting taken out of combat affected him. I didn't think that it would have, because knowing that it was Mira, I think he would have like maybe been a little bit more like understanding of it, which I know he was,
right?
But I didn't honestly think that would be something he would be so affected by. But it is good to know that he forgets that he has this whole attachment to her, and that it means that he can't be how he used to be before,
right?
And that was fully independent. If he dies, no one would care, you know. But it's a good reminder to him that like, no, like he tethers to so many other people, so he needs to remind himself like it's not because of, you know, Mira's like controlling, it's just because of how much that it also shows like Mira cares about him too. Oh
yeah, no, I think it was him being a little bit more stubborn. Sorry. Stubborn, and him feeling sorry, I had like a tickle in my throat there. Him feeling just like no, what nobody has ever told him no on something, so like, why can't I do this? You guys would lose if I'm not there. I'm willing to give up my life for blah blah blah. So I feel like it also kind of stemmed from that.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Yeah, them saying that their lives, that they are tethered for the rest of their life, I just can't help but it seems it sounds ominous.
There we go.
So
I think it's a very interesting way of wording it.
I do too. I think, sorry,
you're
talking.
good.
I think
you need a little tickle.
For the throat. Yeah.
It just feels like a
like a promise.
Yeah.
Like
it felt like an engagement, like a vow.
Well, I also think,
do you think we're ever going to see them get married?
I would love to, but to me it sounded more ominous of like, we're tethered for the rest of our lives, we're gonna die.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? Fuck. It sounded very till death do us part.
Fuck that kind of vow.
So
that's a crazy
it just
vow.
sounds a little ominous. I would love for them to live happily ever after.
If they're gonna die, they better both die.
Yeah.
One can't go without the other.
No, I agree. So. Okay, so it is wild to me how much Violet does behind Xaden's back. This whole thing of her figuring out how to raise the wards and then having everybody meet in secrecy, and Xaden doesn't even know any of this. And then even when he comes, she's like, well, we'll get to it in a minute, but she, he figures out that she knows how to raise the wards, and he's just like, can you tell me now? She's like, oh, sorry, gotta go off on a mission. That's crazy.
She loves to be hypocritical. She is queen of that. I don't know why she doesn't tell him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, is she just assuming that he doesn't want to know the details? Like, what is her thought process? I don't think there is any.
I feel like it's a little bit of pettiness, because it's funny that for someone who needs information so much, she withholds it all the time. And I feel like it's the pettiness of, he kept secrets from me. He's always going to keep secrets from me, so I can keep secrets from him. But like, that's not going to be successful for
girl.
you.
You're going to be doing circles in your relationship forever if you do that.
Yeah. That's just a problem that she has.
Yeah.
But we have another venin dream. I wrote down some points that I want to bring up so that we can discuss.
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, we start out with Violet being suspended over a sunburned field again. Also, I thought this was interesting as I was typing it. I was like, oh, sunburnt field.
Sunburned?
Sunburned field. I don't know if I'm just like looking too much into it.
Is it red? Like a red ashy field?
I'm imagining like,
would think like char. But sunburned is like a red.
Oh, I
like
see
a
what
red,
you mean. I see what you mean.
Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm making stuff up, but sunburned sounds like clay.
Well, what I was going to say is I'm imagining like literally when you look at like dead grass on a field where it's that yellowy hay
like.
Yeah. So I guess that does make sense. Maybe if you say sunburnt, it would be like, oh, it's been charred.
Oh my God. I'm going to really need you to follow this train process that I just had, this train of thought I had, okay?
Okay, I can't wait.
I heard sunburned.
Okay.
I said clay. I said red clay, like,
right.
material. Where is somewhere in our own region that has that? Sedona. High School Musical 2. They're fighting on the fucking plains, on the little red canyons.
Like bet on it.
Yep. Bet on it. Bet on it.
Okay.
That's what I'm now. Every
Fourth
time
Wing is just High School Musical.
And this is the second book. That was the second movie.
Mic drop. Damn.
What can I say? We can always revert it back to our childhood roots.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought because we were just talking about wallows, you were gonna take it a different direction. I thought you were gonna be like sunburnt. They have a song called Suntan. Who's the lead singer? Dylan Minnette. Red clay. He played Clay Jensen on 13 Reasons Why.
That's even crazier than what I was expecting. That was even better than mine.
Me here. I don't know where I'm going with that, but
damn it, should have.
Actually,
that's what I just said.
We've picked our dream Riddick.
Yes.
And it's Dylan Minnette.
Hey
Dylan,
how are you doing, buddy? It's been a while. If you're down to audition, I know you haven't acted in a little bit.
He was actually just in a show in like 2022. Yeah.
Sorry, buddy, I don't
or whatever. Yeah,
haven't been paying attention to his acting career. But if you want to audition, we have 2 candidates right here who could tell you if you can move on to the next process or not.
So let us know.
We'll have to do a chemistry test.
Yeah. With us.
We'll be the roles of Xaden, just to feel that like fantasy for you. So just send your headshots in, Dilly. Okay. He's your little dill pickle.
Can you dill pickle
with his face on it?
That's a good idea.
I couldn't tell them.
Okay. So
sorry, but yes, Sunburn Field.
Okay, so just thought that was interesting. Again, maybe I'm looking too much into it. Maybe it's the sunburned. I don't know. Suspended. We know how much she talks about gravity. So very interesting. Okay, some of these might be a reach. Just hold on with me, guys. I'm just thinking of every possible outcome here. All right. So it seems like it's a recurring dream. That's what she says. But it keeps progressing in every... So to me, that's not exactly recurring because it is progressing slowly. Do we think that the venin are communicating with her through her dreams? And this is how they can contact her.
You know, we've talked about this before and how we think that her dreams have a lot to do with their bond, right?
Right.
For reoccurring, that's such an interesting word to explain it as, because I think what it could also show is just like it's retelling the same story that she's already seen, but it's adding elements to more things she finds out. So like with each dream, it somehow is placed in a part where she learns new information. I feel every venin dream we have is like her after either she's discovering something, she's working on her powers, or it's working on something that she's just figured out, you know.
Right.
We got the information that Pavis, that's how you say the city, right?
Sure.
Pavis. About how like that was destroyed and that's very close to it. So it's like, I don't know if it's playing in her head that like she's over analyzing all of this, and so it just adds to the dream that has been going on for so long. Right. Maybe that's why it's progressing. I don't really know if that makes any sense, but I'm just thinking like maybe it has something to do with like her knowledge, and we always talk about her knowledge and how it has something to do with her mind power. So I don't know.
Just pick her up with his mind powers and
shook me like a dog. You guys are real ones if you know what that is from.
Okay, so Violet also says that this is the first time he has touched her in her dream. So kind of creepy, maybe signifying that they're getting closer to them. I don't know. Very interesting though. Okay, this one, this might be kind of crazy.
Didn't think of this the first time I read it.
I'm going to throw it out there. So she says that he is so close to her, he is touching her, that she can smell something sweet on his breath. Something sweet like the chocolate cake that they just ate earlier in this chapter.
Crazy! That's so that is so fitting. That just happened. Brittany, you're iconic. That was good.
All up here. Yeah, no, I thought of it and I was like, oh my god, I really hate this. But why would she say that there's something sweet on his breath?
What else would be sweet?
Literally,
that we know?
Else? We know they have biscuits. We know they have,
we know they have butter, honey butter, whatever.
But yeah, I thought that was a very weird that a venin would smell sweet.
Yeah. But also, just to not to backtrack, but when you mentioned that like it was the first time he touched her in her dream, it's like the more she's aware of venin and like she's had so much contact with them so much, it's like they do have like a relationship. They've been you know, she's fought them, she's killed them, she's dreamed of them, she was sleeping with one that became one, she is so tethered to the venin as well. It's like I want to know how that like felt for her. She explained it like it was like
he's bony fingers and like uneven fingernails.
Yeah, and so she's very like, it's so weird that her dreams like she feels things like a physical feeling.
I mean, you know, when you're really into a dream, sometimes you're like, I felt that. Yeah.
It's just like crazy that she's so descriptive. Like she knows how to describe that. It's so weird to me. But yeah. Weird.
So then there was a quote from the sage where he tells her, you'll tear down the wards yourself when the time comes. So foreshadowing, because Xenon that's his venin name. Xenon. Because Xaden becomes venin. So is this foreshadowing to us that she is going to tear down the wards, maybe in book 3, maybe in book 4?
I don't know. Hate the word yourself. It's so sad.
Yeah. You'll tear down the wards yourself when the time comes. And then going off of that, he says, you'll both do it. And he's like, not for power, but like for such a stupid human thing, love. So that, I mean, is very foreshadowing of the end of the book. So Xaden obviously turned for love. And then maybe Violet will eventually tear down the wards for love because she's going to have to save Xaden.
Do you think all her... Okay, not to go back into our Greek mythology here. Actually, this is a point that I forgot to bring up. So sorry to backtrack. But in the epigraph that I was saying earlier about how the alive people who are alive have never like fully gotten their manifested like signet right. But the dead ones have a lot to say about that. We always get talked about death. We get talked about Greek mythology a lot. There is I love Greek mythology so much. So Cassandra was like a Trojan like Greek princess or something like that in the mythology world, and she was someone who saw prophecies and people didn't ever believe her, and so blah 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 blah, they killed her and then found out all her prophecies were true. Parts of me think that like Violet has something to do with seeing like how things will seeing into the future but not understanding what it's showing. So she's like she sees like what could possibly be happening, all of what venin tell her, like foreshadowing of like what the next steps would be to like conquering them. I don't know, but it seems like she has like a connection to like Malik, right? And if we're playing in the field of Greek mythology, it's just like is she someone who can see prophecies? Is she someone who could see like a battle ahead? I don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. It's an open field. This isn't a theory. It's an opinion. It's a thought I just had. Just letting everybody know.
Yeah, no, that would be interesting. I definitely think, I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later when we get to that chapter, but you know, she talks about how she's a person that needs information. There are prophecies and things in this book. There's like the one about the 3 siblings, or the brothers or whatever. So there are obviously prophecies ish that need to be fulfilled, and people have related this a lot to Greek mythology, and it is following the way that Greek mythology works. So that would make sense.
I like it. I like that a lot. So, but I just can't with being like for love, a stupid human thing like love.
I know.
I fear about how Xaden is gonna act as a venin with all his.
I'm kind of excited for it.
I'm equally excited because I think he's gonna be her, but I'm like, do you think it'll get rid of his like caring heart?
Well,
but it'll shift it in like an Anakin way.
I mean, I haven't actually heard Rebecca say this, but I did hear that in an interview she apparently said that turning venin does not alter like your decision making and stuff. I don't know. I guess we've never had like a
that's crazy though too.
Good person turn venin.
Yeah.
So
unless it's Brennan, who we already know could be a venin.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'll go into it a little bit more when we get to thriving theorizing. Okay, so literally love Garrick calling out that Xaden had took down a venin to Violet, and then he's like, I'm just doing my part to help your communication skills thrive in a stable relationship.
It's just so funny. Like, so real. What a real homie.
I could just picture the whole thing because it says that like Xaden and Violet are like hugging, right? And then Garrett comes by and like taps her on the shoulder, and he's like, it's good to see you, Vi. Like, make sure you ask him about blah blah blah. And she's like, what? And then Xaden is just like, thanks a lot, asshole. He's like, I'm just doing my part. Like, I can literally see it play out in my head, and it's like such a funny moment.
Oh my god, I love how everyone has a nose into their relationship.
Well, they make it everyone else's fucking business.
They do make it everybody's business, but I love how everyone's like, sorry, we're just trying to make you guys better.
Like, sorry, y'all obviously aren't successful
you guys can't do it on your own.
So
you have to call in for all backup to help you. It's crazy.
Also just love how Xaden, I feel like this is pretty obvious. Maybe I'm wrong here. Miss Rebecca, feel free to correct me. But he seems like he very obviously reads her mind and knows that she figured out how to raise the wards. But she thinks that he just knows how to read her face because she's not answering him. He's like, tell me now. And she's like, no. And he's like, you figured out how to raise the wards. She's like, wow, is my face that obvious? And he's just like, yes. I think he read your mind, girly pop.
Hate to say it, honey. This happens a lot more than you think.
He did. And then the last thing, I just love Kat questioning if they are fighting silently, and Imogen is just like, yep, they do this pretty often. So do people now know that they can speak through the bond, or do they think that they're like, you know what I mean? because I know that in Fourth Wing, Xaden says it's like a secret between them.
Yeah.
Has everybody kind of caught on? Do they know now?
I feel like they have to know
are they
by
just
now.
like, these people are the mental? You know?
The mental. No, I feel like at least like the squad would have to know.
Yeah, I would think.
would think.
But I honestly don't know. I don't remember it ever being told to anyone.
Or at least maybe people just don't know the entirety of how their bond works. But
Yeah.
they like know that there's doing something.
Yeah, like something's happening.
Something's happening up here, but they don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like there's times where it seems like Garrick has maybe caught on to it.
Or
maybe even Bodhi.
like I would even say like Riddick has even said something like sarcastic about them.
Yeah, and I mean there's been many times where they're like,
they're doing it again.
Fighting? Yeah, or like, you know.
They mentioned something
I don't
about
know. Yeah, and I even like Liam. I remember like when Xaden chokes because of what Violet tells him, and then Liam's just kind of like rolls his, it's like he's obviously caught on to something.
He knew.
If it wasn't told to him by Xaden, he caught on that something weird is happening.
He knew.
Yeah. Okay, shall we move into our favorite quotes?
Yeah. I already said my other one about dragons and about life. But the other one that I had, it's from Dain, and I think this is just a little funny one that kind of won me over again for him. This was after he was asking, like, do you love him? Mm-hmm. Or either before or after this, can't remember. But he says, because Garrick and I heard the end of what he said in the interrogation chamber, and trust me, I might be in love with him after that declaration. It's like, aw.
No, it's so cute. I also just love another moment for Dain, how he's just like, but do you really love him? She's like, yes. And he's like, okay, then I trust him. You know, like, it's just like, because you're my best friend and I'll trust what you're saying. It really, having reread it again, I was like, Dain.
No, I do. And I hate Violet for being...
Damn, you weren't the villain.
No, I know. It's like, you just misunderstood.
Like, I get it, Rebecca. Now I get why you're... Yeah, oh my god, he's a people pleaser.
He's a people pleaser.
Look at who his fucking dad is. No wonder.
No.
Poor guy.
Poor baby.
So, we'll see. I'm
Flashback to when we were us, like, episodes ago, and we're like, fuck Dain.
No, I'm sure he'll piss us off again.
I'm sure.
Like Rebecca said in that post, she was like, every single person is flawed.
Yep.
Except for Liam, is literally what she said. Except for Liam. But every single person
Liam
is
content
flawed.
I don't think it's over for Liam yet.
I hope not. Okay, my quote is, so this is what Cassy was talking about a while back, that she's telling herself this as she's going to hand the patch to Kat. And she says, Xaden loves me. He chose me. I will be the most powerful rider of my generation. And I just, this was from chapter 49, wanted to point this one out because it seems like she's like, it seems foreshadowing. It seems like she's like manifesting her saying it's okay to be like, oh, Xaden loves me. He chose, that's fine. And then I'll be the most powerful rider of my generation. It's like, oh,
well, you jumped the gun there, honey.
We're foreshadowing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Specifically saying he chose me. And I know he always will say that he'll choose her, but he did choose her at the one time he was turning.
Fuck. That's true.
He said he chose me. Girl, he chose you. He shouldn't have chose you, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, that makes me upset. I don't think
but
I'm
what
ready.
does she mean by the most powerful writer of her generation?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's like, I know she's been told this by literally everyone. Also, everyone's inflating her ego. Like, what?
For sure.
What is she? Why is she the most powerful? But, like, okay, like, I get you're confident, girl, but whatever happened to, like, you being insecure? That sounds fucked up. Sorry, but I'm just saying,
I feel she's hyping herself up for something, but it is very weird. It's very weird.
Sorry, Violet.
It's giving foreshadowing for sure. Okay, let us move into thriving and theorizing.
Let's do it.
So, shout out to a TikTok comment that we got from Aylin Granger. Hope I'm saying that correct. And they asked us if we could cover the Reddit theory that Violet will bond Sigale in Onyx Storm. Oh my god, for a second I was like, that's not the title. That is the title.
That is the title. Still getting used to it.
That Violet will bond Sigale in Onyx Storm.
Yes.
So I did a little bit of research to find the theory, and I think I found the theory, but Aylin Granger, feel free to correct me if this is not the theory that you found. So I kind of wrote down a summary, so let's just blast through it real quick. Okay. So I believe that the post that they're referring to is from Ladida Day. Don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Basically, it says that Xaden will most likely not be cured in book 3. And they think that he'll be cured about 80% into book 4.
Oh, I love the percentage.
Because he has to get worse before he can get better, and it would be way too easy if he was cured in book 3. And I do slightly agree with this.
It's so true.
They think that by the end of book 3, Xaden is going to become a full venin and leave Violet and his friends for their own safety. The signet that Violet gets from Andarna is most likely going to be something to take out the venin, since Andarna is so unique. So maybe it would be something from 600 years ago. So something like a lost power, or the first 6 like insider knowledge, something in that way that is going to vanquish, was the word that they said, the venin. When Xaden goes full venin, Sigale is going to have to break the bond, similarly to maybe Taryn having to break the bond with Naolin, ? Because we all think maybe Naolin is the sage. He almost died, which that's a fact. We know he almost died. But they said that the mating bond is what saved him. So it would most likely do the same for Sigale. And maybe she'll bond with Violet for survival. They already have a mental bond, and they'll team up to save Xaden. So her signet will be something that will maybe help Xaden out. So I definitely have points where I think that this is a very strong theory, and then I have points where I don't necessarily agree. I don't know that I necessarily agree with Violet bonding Sigale. One, I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know the rules.
I don't know if
the codex.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's possible for her to just like bond all of a sudden and like not go through like threshing and all of that. But also the dragons make up their own rules. So who knows, right? Second, I think it's just going to be way too much if she bonds 3 dragons.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think that's too much. And then she's going to have 3 signets. And I know that some people are like, well, what if she's going to get a signet from the bond and blah, blah. I just think like it's already a lot that she's going to get 2 and that Xaden has 2. I think 3 is just too much personally.
Yeah.
And I know that this is always like a thing in fantasy books where it's like the female main character is like too overpowered, but we just go along with it. But I feel like this is a moment where it's like, we already know she's going to be like the most powerful writer of her generation, and they're really talking her up. We don't know what her second signet is going to be, but it's going to have to be something pretty fucking huge. Yeah. So I feel like to give her a 3rd signet, it's just like it's just too much. It's like she's too overpowered. This isn't realistic in a fantasy book.
I know.
So I don't know that I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
I could see Xaden not getting cured in book 3. I could see that happening, and I could see Sigale having to maybe break the bond, and maybe him going full venin.
Yeah, I agree. Same things. For their bond between Xaden and Sigale, I can't wait till we get to the last chapter of this book, because I think I really need to overanalyze it again, and just read the last final moments between Sigale and Xaden. I also just want to know how that felt for like her. Like, how do you feel like a bond being broken?
Right.
You know? But I'm also thinking like, I don't see why she would bond someone that's already bonded with her mate, you know? So I don't know if I necessarily agree with her bonding with Sigale, with Violet bonding with Sigale. I would see her maybe bonding with like another writer, possibly doubling up, but like, or not bonding at all. I think that
she's
she
gonna
could
be so hurt.
I was about to say, I think she could probably survive just on her and Taryn by herself. But I do agree that I don't think that book 3 will be any progression for Xaden to get back to normal.
Yeah.
But they're right. It'll get worse before it gets better.
For sure. For sure. I just can't handle Xaden leaving, so I do hope it doesn't get to the point where he's like, all right, guys, I'm leaving, unless it's a double or a dual POV. I need them to be together.
Because they were so separated in this book.
Yeah, so
I can't
much
have that again.
so. It's annoying. I need them to have a hot, passionate night together.
Every single, like, other chapter.
Yeah.
No, but that's a really good theory. I do appreciate, though, that how detailed it is.
Yeah.
And how it does cover a lot of bases. But I just don't know if I fully agree with the bond of Sigale and Violet.
Mm-hmm.
Which I know is, like, the main point.
Yeah.
But everything else, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. We have literally 3 more books, so who knows where this is gonna
so much
take us.
Stuff has to happen. You know what I mean? Like, if it's gonna be a full series, it's gonna be way more than we expect it to be.
For sure. All right.
Anyways,
shall we move into Final Jam?
Yeah.
Take it away, Cassie.
Okay. So, really wish that the song was for last week's when we were talking about Cat and Violet and, you know, this steamy little throne scene.
We literally said it, no lie, guys, about 20 minutes after we stopped filming, and we were like, do we go back and film again?
Because I think it fits so well.
Yeah.
In the spirit of Miss Olivia Rodrigo, if you guys are familiar with her song Obsessed, it talks about I'm so obsessed with your ex, and Violet being so overly obsessive with Cat, and about their relationship, her and Cat and Xaden's. I think it's so fitting. I just, last night when we were watching her, all I was thinking when she was performing was Cat and Violet. And like, yeah,
and I feel like there's multiple places it could go into. Like, definitely it could have gone when Cat and Violet are fighting, especially because it's just so like, it's like a rock song, you know. But I also feel like it could even fit in somewhere in this chapter or these chapters. And just especially the part where she talks about, like, I remember every detail you ever told me, so be careful, baby.
Yeah.
It's very Violet.
And it's like, I know you love me.
And I know it's crazy.
But what's the next third? It's like,
every time you say my name, I can't help.
I think you mistake me for her.
Yeah.
You both have moved on. Okay, but
you don't even talk.
Yeah. It's just like,
but I can't help it.
I got issues. I can't help it, baby. Like, it's just so so fitting. And were we like in the car when we found this out?
Yeah, we were like driving to get. Oh, I think we were going to the mall together.
Oh yeah.
So we were driving. We were listening to it, and we were like, "Oh God,
shit.
We gotta U-turn this car around, set up everything again."
But I hope you guys see the vision where we're going with that, because I think it's just so accurate. We have to be the fucking directors of this show,
dude,
because we can make it so fun. Imagine their little sparring scene, like you were saying to it.
I know.
With the like grungy.
Amazon Studios, please.
Dude.
Help us help you.
Literally. We need you. You need us.
Yeah.
Just come on. I also was trying to find another song for their like cake moment, but too many damn songs out there. I don't know. I couldn't find one. So this is all we have for Final Jam.
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
We did it, guys. Episode 14 in the books.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly, we either have 4 or 5 more. Yeah. I think we're halfway.
Yeah. So.
Crazy.
We are nearing the end here. But thank you guys, as always, for listening. Hope you all enjoyed.
Yep.
Remember that you guys can email us or reach out to us on like TikTok or Instagram with any theories you have or theories you want us to cover. Subscribe to our newsletter, Patreon.
Yeah, check us out.
Yeah.
Totally let us know all of your guys' theories. Like she said, we would have not had something to talk about today if it wasn't for one of you guys. So that was something that we hold dear to us. So we read all of your guys' comments. So just let us know, DM us. Yeah. We love to chat. We're yappers, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But we hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys for episode 15. Crazy. Esta quinceañera. We'll see you guys over that one. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
Bye,
see
guys.
You later. Bye,
see you next week.
Mwah.